this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts. I have an hour to spare, so I thought I'd come to my craft room and I create a little card. And this card was inspired by a post I saw today on the Lavinia For You Facebook group. And this lady, Marie was her name, she posted a card with a cat on it. But other than we normally see it where we stamp the cats in black, she had stamped the cat in grey and then had painted the cat and had given the cat a lovely scarf. So my idea was to do something similar and to stamp the cats in different colours. This is Mimsy and this is Mooch. You've seen Mooch before recently. I gave him a little eye in one video. So I'm going to use these two today. And I had a little play with different media, and I will use a mixture of my Elements inks. I will probably use the VersaFine Clair, and I've also had a play with my Kuretake pens, and they actually work as well. I can ink up the stamps with these and then stamp with them. The look is quite different. So yeah, I'll just have a little play and I'll show you what I'm doing. This also, I think, will be a nice opportunity to create something for the Lavinia Creative Challenge on their website, and this month's topic is Animals Gather. So I thought all these cats could gather here on the card. And also this is a little bit inspired by Terry Runyan. I have posted something a while ago where I created a cat card inspired by her. This lady, Terry Runyan, she creates lovely watercolour pictures of cats. So I think this will be inspired by her art as well. So I think I'm starting, because I've already started on this here, I will start with some orange. And my Distress Oxide Orange, I'm not happy with this ink pad, never have been. It's too juicy. I don't really know what to use it for, so I had to go with it, but it was just all bleeding and it was very uneven. That's when I got the idea to use the Kuretake pens. So I've got the number 70 here, and all I need to do is basically ink up the stamp, making sure every part gets ink on it. And I'm not too fussed going over the edges there, because if I don't press down too hard, that should not reach the paper there. And it will be a bit, you will see that it will be a bit stripy, so I'll go down this way because it's the more natural stripe for the cat. As long as I've got ink everywhere, it doesn't matter. Sure, I've got the tip of the tail there. So let me just put the cap on. So normally I stamp with an stamping platform, so I hope I can get this even. This is a 300 GSM card base, and it's 5.5 by 5.5 because I would like to put it on a 6 by 6 piece of cardstock, and I would like to ink matte that. So I'm just quickly checking here. Where's Mooch? There he is. Just checking how much space I need for the bottom row. I might just not do it in rows. Originally I thought I would do in rows. Maybe I just pop this one here in the middle, and then Mooch can be all the way around. So I'm just sitting this down here. I hope I haven't waited too long. It should still be juicy enough. I could have misted it a little bit, but I think this will be fine. I've only had one try run so far. See? Yeah, that's lovely. Let me just move this up to the camera. So it's a bit speckled, as you would have with any juicy inks, but I like this. And I'm going to paint over this anyway. So I'm just checking I will have the same cat coming off from here. So I don't think I bother about cleaning the stamp. I will just now come in, I think, with a brown. So I'm just coming in with the VersaFine Clair Pine Cone. So you can either ink it up like this, just straight from the pad, or you can use a brayer. I had to go with a brayer earlier as well. Either of these methods is fine. So I'm just having him come in here from the side. I also tried some mirror stamping earlier with my gel plate, but that wasn't very successful. So I'm not going to do that on this card. Yeah, lovely. That's very solid. It's very juicy, but I will like the different look of these cats. So I think I should have just one walking off here. So I just need to clean this off. And I think I've got the black soot here. I hope this is not too dark. No, I tell you what, I'll go in with this grey. That's a 93, because I think it would be nice to have this cat in a less bold colour. Seems to be a lot of floof on my stamp. Maybe that's when I just wiped it up. So, but because cats are floofy, I see what effect it gives. I don't know if the camera picks it up. Yeah, there you can see it. So we'll see if that gives it lots of speckles. That'll be fine by me, as long as I've got enough ink on there. But I will just clean off my nib here, making sure there's nothing on the brush. Should have thought about that. I didn't have to ink up the whole cat, but never mind. Yeah, I love those speckles. Can you see them? There we go. So I think I will now go to Mooch, and I think I will speed this up for this video, so you don't need to just put my brayer on my worktop, so you don't have to watch me you know, in real time to stamp. But I will use a mix, as I said, of the elements. I'll show you them in the footage, and some pens, and yeah, then I'll come back and show you the finished result. So I paused a little here because I feel I do need a cat coming in from this side, unless I put something here for the cats to look at, maybe. Whether I put a little mouse here or a little butterfly. I'm a bit, I don't know. It would make sense, wouldn't it, to have something here that the cats look at, or the other one, as I said, if I did some mirror stamping after all, if I had a cat coming in from here, something needs to complete the card here before I continue this. So I think I will just have another little play with the mirror image stamping, and I'll just try to find one more way to do it, and then I'll show you how you can do this. Okay, so I had a few plays with my mirror stamping, and I realised the Kuretake pens are too wet. As I said before, I think, did I say that? No, I didn't. The Distress Oxides are too wet. They're a bit better, but not ideal. But I found in my stash this ink pad here. It's called Pastel Yellow Metallic Ink. It's not really metallic, but I know it's a chalky finish, and I wanted some yellow here on the top. So I just show you how you can do the mirror stamping. So you ink up your motif as normal. I know I only need the front of the cat, and I can also already see that the ink stays on there, it doesn't puddle. Just inking it up thoroughly. Just show you this because the cat is already a bit red. So, and then I'm just using my gel plate and I'm just taking an imprint of this. I hope I've got no other residue on there, because that would just ruin the whole card. Let me just stamp this off quickly. Yeah, there was something on there, I think. So make sure. You can use another stamp, the back of a stamp, like this here, which is flat, but I find that the gel press releases more easily. I'm actually doing it on the edge because I don't want too much of the gel plate to touch the rest of the card and ruin this all. So I'm just basically setting this down and picking up the ink. So I can see it is quite wet there. It wants to puddle a little bit, but I don't mind that too much. So I don't know if you can see that. So it will give a slightly different look than the normal stamping, but I only want it on the edge here. So I want this cat to just come in here. So I'm just setting this down here and I'm pressing it down. Oh, you know, it's got a few streaks in there, but I think that'll be fine by the time we paint it over this. So I'm taking this off now. And oh, it's not perfect. Never mind. And I can see now why they call it metallic ink, because it has got a metallic shimmer. So I'll see what I can do with that. So this is the idea, yeah. It shows us gold now. Got a golden cat there. Never mind. I'm thinking about going over it with a Sundance and see if that ink works after all. But for that, I need to definitely clean this off thoroughly. Or use the other edge. Need to clean this properly. Make sure there is no residue. Let me just use my Sundance after all. I might ruin the rest of the card now. This is what we crafters do. We know better, but we still do it. So I'm deliberately turning this round now, not to have the bit there where I had the ink on before. Picking this up again. Looks a bit less juicy, so maybe the elements work after all. It's very difficult to see. So, but the advantage of the gel plate is now I can see where I need to set this down approximately, although it just wants to peel off by itself. So see what happens. I might mess it up at the moment, but I don't know. Looks a bit like I've double stamped it, but never mind. I will paint over that, but you get the idea of what you can do. I've done it before with like a little butterfly. I think maybe this silhouette stamp is not the best one to do it with, maybe just the little detailed ones, but you get an idea. So I'm leaving this to dry for a moment because I want to come in with a stencil and just combine this a little bit more before I get my other pens out. So I found this stencil in my stash. It was still in its packaging. So a virgin stencil. This is the red brick. And I've just got a new piece of scrap paper behind it. And I'm just taping this stencil down on that. Just on the scrap paper, not on the actual card. I think this will be enough. And I've decided to come in with my Lost Shadow, because this is a fairly light colour, so I'm not taking away too much of the motif. I'm just testing it here on the side. Just want a hint of this, and I want to go in between the cats, so I'm just coming in from the bottom. Don't want to go over the cats, and it's not obvious where it is. I'm just dabbing a little bit off here, but I think, just holding this down here, but I think once I'm taking the stencil off, it will show something. So again, I'm just speeding this up for the video. So before I remove the stencil, I will remove the top here and hold it in the middle, create a little hinge just to peel it off and see if I can see something, and it looks lovely. But I think without loading the brush, I think I need to go in between the legs and the ears and everywhere. So without moving the ink about too much, I think I need to get closer to the cats, because otherwise they'll look a bit like they're hovering in midair. Don't mind a little bit of halo around them, but they need to be grounded a little bit. So I can even move it over from the side, and then I can see where I need to add a little bit more. And this Lost Shadow is a very subtle colour, but in combination with the white of the cardstock, it just works really nicely. And I've got hardly any colour left, so I'm not even bothered going over the cats, just making sure I've got a bit of ink everywhere. I'm conscious now that the stencil has moved a little bit, so I shall take it off now. Can you see? I think this is really nice and works really nicely with the cats. I have actually gone a bit over here, but that doesn't matter. It shows a bit more on the dark brown, but I will paint over the cats anyway. So I shall get my pens ready and then start colouring the cats. So I'm using a mix of my Kuretake pens first. I've got a white Posca here, but I will also find a black Sharpie and a black gel pen. But I'll start with these colours now. So I'm starting with the orange cat. I think he needs a bit of, you know, some stripes. If you wanted to, you could use your water brush pen and just play around with that. But it's really up to you. It's what you fancy. There is no right or wrong. Just thinking should have done the stripes that way rather than defining the legs, but it doesn't matter. So I'm just testing this pen whether it's too dark. No, I think this would work nicely. So some of her cats have got patches. Oh, this one's got a stain on the front. Never mind. From previous projects. This is why it's important that when you use your pens, you sort of give them a little swipe and clean them up beforehand. So this one's getting a few patches to go in the ears. So I shall do the same, I think, with this one on the top here. Just a few patches. Not sure yet what to do with them. It looks a bit awkward. Funny colour. It's like a mustard yellow. Never mind. I think once we give them eyes, they will all have a bit of character. So then I've got a bit of grey here. On Although this one's nicely speckled already, I'll just give him a few more speckles, I think. This one can do with a bit more colour there. So let me find a brown pen. Oh no, this is a light one. See what that does, what that one does. Mine might be a bit too light. So he's a proper scruffy fella now there. But I think they're all looking at him now because it looks a bit different, but it doesn't matter. So I just need a little bit, maybe down here. No, I tell you what, I come in with my Posca pen now, and I think I add some white to some of the darker cats. So when you've got Posca pen, always make sure it's nicely flowing without actually seeping out too much. So I will give the cat's eyes. So I'm just going in like this, and this, as I said before, that's inspired by Terry Runyan. Her cats have usually got eyes like that. It looks a bit like an okapi, but never mind. So maybe give him a little bit of white, maybe just some white paws, white socks. Yeah, these are all fantasy cats, so it doesn't matter what they look like. So just giving a bit more scruffiness, I think, because otherwise it doesn't go with his fur there. I think this looks a bit better. So, and now I think all I need to do is to add some pupils. So I think for that I will get my black gel pen. Again, I could have used that to make some stripes. Cleaning that off, making sure it's flowing nicely and doesn't have any residue there in the front. So I'm just contemplating whether I want a round eye or proper cat eye. Yeah, I like the oval shape. So I'm turning this round so I don't smear the bottom ones. I hope I'm not going off camera because I'm concentrating what I'm doing. Yeah, he's still a massive fella, never mind. So, and then they're all I think could do with a lovely black nose. Can't beat a black nose. And I will potentially also colour in the whiskers. Can you see how they all get a bit more character now that they are coloured in? He looks a bit cross-eyed. I think the pupil's in the wrong place, but it doesn't matter. All cats are some weirdos. Can you see? Still looks like a zebra. Never mind. So, yeah, just get a slightly different pen for that. Bear with me. I've got this really thin fine line pen. I'm not quite sure where it's from. It says 0.38. I'm not quite sure whether that's a thickness, but this is really nice for really fine details. So all I'm doing now is just to go over the whiskers again and add some on this side. I think this will look so much nicer. Not sure about this one on the other side. Also give him a bit more definition. So, yeah, I think this is all this card needs. Obviously, I would add a sentiment maybe somewhere on a strip when I give this away. And yeah, it's different. It's not quite what I envisioned when I started this, but I quite enjoyed making it. And it's just so different. It's not obviously Lavinia. It is more Terry Runyan than Lavinia, but I really like it. So I might add some sparkle at a later point. I find sparkle always ties things in together, but I'll let the gel pens dry first properly. Yeah, if you like this card, sorry, it's not a card yet, it will go on a 6x6 card base. Bear with me, I'll just show you that. So this is how it will look like on the card. I haven't glued it down yet, but this is the idea. I thought about matting it at first, but I think I might leave it there. I might give it a yellow frame. You will see that in the thumbnail if I do. So yeah, if you like this card, you might want to give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of what I'm creating, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that, and I hope I could inspire you to try something similar. See you soon with another video.